First of all, we are the only jurisdiction in the world where we need permission to provide service to a minority group. Any other municipality, any other place in the world, if you want to provide service to a minority group, you can, and you can do it in any way that you wish. In fact, in Finland, if 8% of the population is Swedish, the Finland government requires that the service is given to Swedish individuals in their language. So there's a requirement to give, not permission to give. We're the only jurisdiction in the world where we need permission, and we live this life and we think it's normal, but it's not. We need permission to give service in another language. What I explained about that issue, and I think it's important for us to continue to express our concerns not only to the Anglophone community, but as much as possible on French media, was that imagine way back at the beginning of the pandemic when the city of Côte-Saint-Luc decided that we wanted to make masks mandatory in commerce, and we could only do that in French. We couldn't explain anything in English. It would not have been like a 24-hour understanding or 2-day understanding by our entire community that this is the reality and this is what you're going to have to do. But it was fast and everybody understood it. And there wasn't a problem because we did it in both languages. Now, where do we go from here? So we look at Bill 96 very carefully. And as it applies to municipalities is that all employers must, including us, must take reasonable means not to require knowledge of English. Even if we have bilingual status, it seems that that article would apply. So that means if, let's say we have somebody, 4 people working at the front desk and 1 person, and they all are bilingual, except we get a vacancy and somebody applies who only speaks French, but there's 3 other people at the front desk. There are clauses in the law that would say that we should find a way to allow an individual who only speaks French to work in our municipality if we have enough other people that could accommodate those who need it. There is also a clause that says, that we have the duty to use exemplary and exclusive use of French and not systematic use of English, and all municipalities need to draft a directive of when we will use English. We need to draft a directive of when we will use English and why. This directive is going to be reviewed by the minister, and it can be reviewed at any time by any individual who wants to make a complaint about the way that the directive is drafted and how we think we should be able to use English. And if the minister feels that it's inappropriate, it would have to be amended, and that's pretty serious, because in Côte-Saint-Luc, it'll be very interesting the way we draft that directive. So you're supposed to give communication in French only unless you have bilingual status, and oral communication only in French and anywhere outside of cities that don't have bilingual status. But you need to check if you're somebody on the phone and you're speaking to somebody and they want service in English. You're supposed to somehow verify if they're eligible to receive English service. I don't even understand how you would do that. So you're in a municipality, doesn't have bilingual status. Somebody calls you up and they don't understand French and they want some service, and you don't have to give it to them until you verify that they're eligible. Meaning, that they have eligibility based on their education and they have the right to receive that service. That's a weird clause in the law that I don't know how they would be able to apply. And of course, like we're all saying over and over again, this is, the first time that they're using the notwithstanding clause in a preemptive way. Historically, we always, it's something that's struck down in the courts would then be considered to use a notwithstanding clause, but to use it in a blanket way like this is something that I think is the most important thing we're all going to work towards stopping. Now, I believe, like so many others, that we really have to work as a group to get the entire Quebec population to realize how detrimental this law is, not only to municipalities, but to all Quebecers, Francophone and Anglophone, because we're moving out of a pandemic now, and we not have to concentrate on the economy. And this is counterproductive to anything that is going to be good for Quebec. If we want things to be good in Quebec, we need to concentrate on how to get back to, after the last pandemic, it was the roaring 20s after the Spanish flu. But we want it to be the roaring 20s here in Quebec. And the only way that's going to happen is if we concentrate on a business, the economy, healthcare, and ensure that we can move forward and not backwards, which is what this law is. It's really a step backwards and very, very limiting on our rights. And we're going to lose the next generation. It was, you know, I was a Wager graduate in 1978. And there was all that talk about leaving the province. We don't want that again. And I know all Quebecers don't want that again. We don't want some of our great people who are contributing to this country to leave Quebec. So that's it. Thank you.